What's up, guys? Today we're going to make a downpipe merge for a customer. We make a lot of these for Race Part Solutions. We also sell them on our website. You can get them to fit any style turbo, any sizes, 4-inch, 4.5, 5-inch, stainless and aluminum. So today we have 4.5-inch 11-gauge aluminum, and I'm filming this because we're going to do it at kind of a funky angle. We're going to come out of the turbo and rotate downward. So instead of just being a standard Y split, it's going to be probably 30 degrees aimed down. So we're doing this because they don't have a lot of room, and we need to get it, going in the direction that we need as quick as possible. So walk you through the process of this. Let's go on the bandsaw and get started. Okay, we've got it locked in the bandsaw here. On this particular one, I'm going to cheat the 90 just a little bit to get it to go even, almost kind of under the turbo. So I've got a 1/4-inch piece under here to make it a little bit more than 90. Just letting that hit the saw bed there. The legs on these are extremely long for some reason. They're always a random length, so you never can really go off that. So I'm using where it hits the saw as my guide to make them both cut at the same spot. So if the leg's long enough, you can do that. If not, you got to use something else to go by. So we're going to cut this, and then we're going to cut the other one the same way, and then we're going to move on to the next cut. Okay, we got our pipes cut. You can see they're slightly more than 90. They get a little closer here at the end than they are right here. You might have noticed in the time lapse I was holding them while it was right close to getting all the way through with the blade. That's because it will jerk them out of the saw, because I had the spacer, which I've already put it up, but I had it right under where the blade came down. So if the blade had grabbed the spacer before it got all the way through the material, it would have rotated it and made a bad cut that I would have had to deal with. So that's that. Now I'm going to put these, I'm going to get the saw adjusted where it's at an angle. I normally would cut right through here. 4.5-inch pipe, I would take a square and measure 2 1/4 from the inside to the saw blade and set it up to cut straight down through. But because we're going to do this at an angle, we're going to cut it kind of through there, or maybe through there, so it's actually rotated down instead of just flat. So get the saw set up and get this started. Okay, before I cut this one, I just thought I'd show you what I'm doing. This is 4.5 pipe, so 2 1/4 inches is half of 4.5. But I'm using the square to measure from the back side of the saw blade. So you want to consider how much material the saw blade is going to take out of it. So you can see I'm about a 1/16 over 2 1/4. So you'll want to get square with the saw blade and find about the middle of the tubing, how it goes straight across the middle of the circle there, and you want to line up the end of your square to the edge of your tubing. So it's kind of hard to do with the camera, but just for example, something like that. So that would be where your cut would be. So you can see how this one came out when you're holding it like it would be coming out of the turbo. Get a nice flat cut there, and you're rotated down. So let's cut the other one. Okay, we got them over here on the bench. I'm gonna deburr everything. Another thing on aluminum, you're cutting it with a bandsaw. Make sure you sand your surfaces where the blade cut through, because most of the blades are pretty greasy and it will leave grease where the blade goes through, and that'll make your weld sometimes act up if it gets in there good. So make sure you clean that. Then we'll get some a rag here, just wipe the inside out. Need some acetone, might have a little bit in here. Okay, that might be enough. I don't really sand the aluminum where I'm going to weld it. I just wipe it off usually, inside and out. Make sure there's no bending residue or lubrication where they bend it in there. As far as prep work, that's all I do. Don't really need to spend any extra time on it, I don't believe. Not for this. So let's get it tacked up. So what I usually do here, just use some painter's tape. That's the easiest way. Get your two pieces together. Well, sometimes you need 4 extra hands to do it. Get them lined up. Put your piece of tape across it. That way at least the tape acts as an extra set of hands. See, it's not really lined up there, but it'll hold it good enough where you can adjust one end and then move on to the next end. Put a little tighter right there. It's a lot easier when it's just a straight 90 and not this downswept angle. But it's not that bad, it's just need a lot more hands than what you got. Bottom it looks pretty good. You can see on the inside there's a little gap. It's because it needs to be pushed together. The tape can't hold it really tight enough. So that's pretty much it. What we're going to do now is put a couple tacks on it. And then recheck everything. Make sure everything's staying in place. And then we will tack it to the flange. That way nothing moves. So let's go ahead and throw a couple on it. Using 5356 filler wire with white tungsten, 3/32, about 153 amps or something, just so I have enough if I need it. A little tack there. Good one there. And we'll get one on the back side here. I always use smaller filler for the tacks that I'm going to use when I weld it. That ensures that I'll cover up my tacks with the pass. So you get the tape off there before it melts. You can see when I tacked it, it closed any of the extra gap up. When you look on the inside, there's hardly any. I can probably get it closer, but when you weld it, it's going to pull it in. So next, we take some pictures for the customer. Next, we're going to put the flange on. And for a 4.5, we use a 4-inch flange because it goes on the outside. So what we'll do, we will put this on there and then sand out the inside. Usually don't sand out the inside, but this customer wanted all the extra they could get. But it's pretty close. You can see. So we're going to get this tacked on and make sure everything's leveled up and go from there. Okay, we have everything tacked up. We got it tacked all the way around the flange, multiple points. And we got it tacked on the merge. You start welding, it'll start pulling. If you don't have enough tacks, it might open up on you. So let's get to welding. Okay, we got everything welded up. It's kind of cooled down enough for me to touch it. A nice clean bead all the way around there. This is our finished product. Let's see, when it goes on the turbo flat, it will actually come back inboard just a little bit. Sitting it on the table. Pretty tight. So that's it. That's how you make one of these merges. Other merges, same process applies, just without the angles. But all of it takes just about the same amount of time. This takes a little bit more time, but we don't charge any extra for it. If you want a weird angle like this, just order the merge on the website like normal and just email us right after you put your order in and tell us that you want, you know, a down swept angle or something like that, and we'll get you took care of. But that's it. Hope you enjoyed. See you next time. Oh, well, it turns out Race Parts Solutions sent us another PO for another 4-inch GT47 style merge. So we've already got this one cut. It's just a standard cut style merge, no funky angles or nothing. See how it meshes up. We're going to get this one tacked together, and then we might try to get some footage. Hey, don't listen to that guy. We might get some footage welding it here in a minute.
Yeah.
And that's it. Woo! Thing is hot. Sometimes I forget. So the outside's welded together. Now we're gonna throw it in a vise or in between two wood blocks and weld the inside, just like we did the other one. Okay, we got the inside welded. I didn't show you on the other one because I just forgot, honestly, but it's kind of melted in good. Keep it strong. I hope the footage turned out well for the welding, because we haven't really tried that before much, so we'll see when I go to edit all this. But go on the website, pick yourself a merge up, or hit Race Part Solutions up. If you've got something really weird that ain't basic, they can work with you and get you what you need. So that's all for today.